hear that glitch? It's time to thwip. What's up, Thwipper Snappers? I'm AJ, and welcome back to another Thwip Side video. And today I'm checking out the s.h.monsterarts Godzilla 1954 reissue figure. And guys, I'm pretty excited to be checking this figure out. I have been a lifelong fan of the Godzilla movies, but strangely, it's weird. I've never really collected Godzilla. I had like some of the vinyls when I was a kid, but that's about it. And I've been wanting to start collecting Godzilla figures, but I've been so far out of the loop. I was never really in the loop for kaiju collecting, so I didn't know where to start. And after thinking it over and looking at different companies and things like that, I decided why not start with the original 1954 Godzilla, and I chose the s.h.monsterarts. It seemed like, from what I could tell, looking at reviews and things, it seemed like the best one. Plus, this is s.h.monsterarts is a premier line for Godzilla, so really excited to pop this open and see what they're like. And here's Godzilla out of the box, and I will say this is not a gripe at all. And I knew the scaling going in, but when I took him out, he seemed really tiny to me, but he is a 6-inch scale, just like advertised. Maybe dealing with so many McFarlane toys, and you know, maybe it took me off guard being so tiny. Plus, in my brain, I think Godzilla big, but he is 6 inches. Like I said, not a gripe, just something that I was like, wow, this looks pretty small. But anyway, not a gripe. I think my first impressions is this figure is really cool. As you can see, he's supposed to be in black and white, just like the original movie, but instead of going like blacks and white, he's done in like this gray. He's painted on like a gray paint. I'll lift that up so I can bring him closer. And I think it is really cool looking. I love how like his fins, his dorsal fins, are all like a lighter gray, and then the whole body is like in a darker gray, but you can see like in the crevices there's some lighter gray as well. At least it appears to be to my crappy eyes. But yeah, I think he looks fantastic. Looks like he came right off the screen. He's just awesome. There's texture everywhere. It does a good job of recreating the suit down to the goofy eyes. I will say I wish his eyes weren't pointed down at an angle. I wish they were straight ahead. But he did have goofy eyes in that movie, for anybody that watched the movie, and that's the case here. But you can get some cool looking poses like that, so that really gives a lot of character. Just in neutral, if you want him looking, he's looking two different directions, and he's looking down if you have a side view. But yeah, that just adds a lot of character, and I could see getting him into some fun poses. Just a really well done figure in my opinion. I was a little worried because when I took him out of the packaging, this arm fell off, and I had a hard time getting it back on. Well, getting it to stay on. I was afraid it was broken. I don't think so. Maybe I'll get some heat on that later and get it on, see if I can get it on more securely. But yeah, really fantastic looking. Articulation is really cool too. Remember guys, this is my first time with a s.h.monsterarts or any high-end kaiju figure. Like I said, I had the vinyls as I was a kid, limited articulation, so I thought this was pretty wild. I love how the neck is in sections, so you can get a little here, but you can get more. And you can move that side to side like that, and I love how that's all in sections, and you can do that. The head does rotate. You can look up really nicely. You can look down a lot more than I thought you could. But yeah, really cool. The jaw does open, so you can get the roaring. He doesn't come with any accessories, but that's okay. And then his arms, of course, rotate. They go out like that. You do get a swivel, and you get a hinge here. And then you get swivel at the wrists. And then for his torso, it too is in sections. See if I can see here. This section and this section. So you can get up like that, and you can get them to look up about that far. I like how like they even included the little ears. Godzilla used to have ears back in the day, and some other modern instances he does too. You do get some rotation. It's very tight, but it is there, and he can crunch down. I'm being super careful, and I apologize. I'm not cranking the crap out of this thing. But you can look down like that. His legs do go in and out like that, and they rotate. You got a small hinge here, and goes back like that far, and like that. Does it rotate? Yes, it does, very tightly. And then ankle up and back, and some nice pivot. I'll show you pivot. And again, where I like the sectional neck, the tail is the same thing. There's all these sections going around the tail. Some poses it's more limited, but you can get his tail like that, side to side, all the way to like here. So that's really cool. So yeah, really cool posability with this guy. Those of you who collect this line, I'm sure you're like, big deal. I already know that, but my first time, like I said, and I'm very excited. So yeah, I am really, really happy with his articulation. And let's get a closer look at his teeth and his mouth. Really, really cool. Just such a nice job overall. So in case you couldn't have figured it out by now, my bottom line thoughts on this s.h.monsterarts Godzilla 1954 figure is I absolutely love it. I am so glad this is the first figure I chose to start my hopefully ever-growing Godzilla collection. I just love this figure. I think he's fantastic. And I could see myself having a lot of fun with him. I just slight head tilts and slight moving around to the tail, playing around with the tail. You can get him looking really cool. Just really awesome. And to this day, the 1954 original movie, and of course, when it came out later in America, I think a year after, 55 maybe 56 if I remember correctly. To this day, that is still, the original movie is still my favorite Godzilla movie. And I actually watch it very often. I have a bunch of the movies on DVD, but now because of HBO Max, I will watch them there a lot, and I watch this one the most. I love the original movie. So yeah, I'm really happy I chose the representation of the original movie to start my collection, and I couldn't be happier with this figure. And that'll about wrap it up for me. Drop me a comment and let me know if you collect Godzilla figures or kaiju figures, and what other lines do you recommend? Are there certain characters you recommend that are really standouts in any of the lines? I know I have my eye on the Monsterverse Hiya toys. They look really cool as well, and I think I'm going to pick up the reissue of Godzilla. I think it's Godzilla King of the Monsters, maybe. I could be wrong. It's either that or Vs. Kong Monsterverse. But yeah, if you have any specific recommendations, let me know. And thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Later.